state, they wanna make like lake. Homeless, homeless. Moonlight state, they wanna make like lake.
The work of the National Intervention and Community Disaster Response Teams was much appreciated by the populations of villages affected by the disasters. But another aim of the DIPECHO project was to ensure that these populations were aware of what actions to take on their own when floods and hurricanes struck.
Come along, my brothers. Come along, my sisters. Come along, my brothers. Come along, my sisters. I hope my brothers come.
24 billboards were put up in the project communities and in the district centers of Sand Creek and Toledo. 2 designs were used for both billboards and posters. Whilst one design concentrated on being prepared and the things one should have ready before a flood or hurricane strikes, the other gave a number of warnings, things to know and things to do both in preparation for and during a disaster scenario. 4,000 posters were produced and distributed around the country. To deepen the impact of the awareness campaign, household awareness packages were put together. These comprised of a plastic folder used to keep important documents dry, a copy of a disaster preparedness calendar, a leaflet on first aid, and a family disaster planning booklet. In some cases, posters were added to these packs. CDRTs were trained to help families fill out the booklets so each family then had a disaster response plan.
However, preparation is not just about being ready and knowing what to do in a disaster, but also about changing certain infrastructure in the village so that the effects of a flood or hurricane are reduced. In the DIPECHO project, this was done through the mitigation work.
During the VCA process, 3 of the communities identified water as the most important problem. These villages were reliant on a combination of river water and harvested rainwater. On a day-to-day basis, but especially in floods, the river water would become polluted and create severe public health risks. The community water systems put in place used groundwater sources, the safest source of water both normally and in a flood scenario. The fact that the water passes through a single system means that it can be controlled and treated centrally, and safe water ensured for each household. The water is pumped from a borehole via pipes up to a tank and is dispersed through a pipe network through gravity to taps in each household area. In the villages of Jordan and Mullins River, water projects were completed that had been started but never finished by other organisations. In Sunday Wood, a project was started and will be completed by the Social Investment Fund. Another problem faced by many of the target communities was that they are situated in flood areas. When a flood occurs, pit latrines overflow and fecal matter becomes present in the floodwaters, with the obvious health concerns and pollution of what in some cases was the only water source for the community. The compost latrine stores fecal matter above ground in a chamber that is plastered and watertight, so floods, unless very severe, will not affect it. In addition, the technology allows a beneficiary to use the compost and the urine, collected through a urinary diversion system. If possible, ash and soil is added to increase the rate of breakdown. The chosen design combines the advantage of solar latrines, which heat the feces so as to increase the rate of breakdown, with another design that uses 2 chambers. Once a chamber is full, the other is used, and the original chamber not emptied until the second one is full, giving the fecal matter plenty of time to break